Best show, you're on the air.
Hey, Tom.
Oh, hey, who's this?
This is John in Portland.
Don in Portland. What's up, Don?
Not much. I thought I'd give you a call because I was wondering if you've heard about these escape rooms that are popping up all over the place.
Oh, have I heard of them?
Yeah.
I think you might want to check. For Los Angeles, someone set the record in solving one.
Oh, how long's that?
How fast did I solve? I solved it by myself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, in like 4 minutes.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, and then I went back again, they made it harder.
Uh-huh.
I solved it in 3 minutes the second time.
No kidding.
And then I went back again, and they actually made it so it wouldn't be solvable. Like there was no answer to it. And then this is what I said to them. It's just like, oh, I'm having a panic attack in here. The walls are closing and you got to let me out. Seriously, I'm freaking out. And then they opened the door and I was like, I escaped. And then
you got them.
Yeah, and then they were like, ah, you got us. Why, have you done an escape room?
Yeah, I had to do one for a team building exercise for my work.
Uh-huh. Well, that's depressing. Where are you working?
I'm working right now, and I'd like to leave it. I work in an office.
You work in an office?
Yeah.
And do you feel like these team building exercises actually help things?
No.
Like, do you just...
Everybody just kind of did their own thing. Like, there are a bunch of puzzles in the room, and everybody just kind of grabbed a puzzle, and every now and then we'd kind of communicate and then get back to it.
What was the theme of the room?
It was the Revolutionary War.
What?
Yeah, right? You're supposed to be locked in this room by some redcoats, and they're going to come back in an hour and execute you if you don't solve these puzzles that they, I guess,
dumbest thing I've ever
laying
heard
around.
in my life. You know what would get me out of that room?
What?
Having to go back in and hear that fife music that they played back then. Right? I'd want to get out so fast. Talk about that's my motivator. That fife music.
We didn't have music in ours.
They made people want to fight that fife music, right? Wouldn't the thing you could think of doing more is to run someone through with a bayonet if all you heard all day was boop 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 boop, right? Like a drum, one of those drums over that people like wore, like over the like mounted to the like like they have the strap, like the you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like marching band drums.
Right, fife and drum stuff.
Yeah, could you imagine if that's the only music you had back then? Holy moly. It's like the worst proposition I ever heard in my life.
It's either that or harpsichord music.
So did you solve the puzzle?
Yeah, we got out with like 10 minutes to spare, but that's kind of a relief because I don't think that we would have been able to look at one another in the eye the following Monday.
Well, look, I did one of these things with another group, and I laid back to like see how they did with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty embarrassing when these people can't, like when they fail, it's pretty brutal. Like they are just like, because there'll be people like, maybe this thing goes for that thing. Someone go find that code. Where's that? Yeah. Where's that ledger? Maybe that tells us the coordinates of this thing, and we can open the safe, right? Right?
Yeah.
Now we can open the safe.
Well, they warn you not to break anything. So there's so many rules, and all of them revolve around.
Look, bro, I'm gonna lay it out straight. I'm gonna lay it out straight. I was being parodic when I said I solved the escape room thing before. I didn't. I did one of these things, and I did so poorly at it. I was in Los Angeles with my friend Hayes Davenport, a co-host of Hollywood Handbook, Earwolf's Hollywood Handbook.
Is that how I sounded before?
That's how you sound.
Are you familiar with Hollywood Handbook, John?
Oh, yeah. Love it.
You do, right? Mm-hmm. So we did this escape room, and the theme was that it was like, it's the 40s. It's an old gumshoe thing, right?
What?
And you just did the thing Julie did. He just went, block, block.
Oh, my God, between the two of you.
So then we're doing this thing, and I was so out of sorts in this thing, because I'm just bad with, like, puzzles like that. I don't like puzzles. I don't like them. I don't like puzzles.
What about small rooms full of people
I don't
swarming around you? Yeah.
People I haven't met yet?
Yeah.
So I'm in this thing, and then there's there's one person in the room, the receptionist, who's just like, she's just like, she just looks like a pin-up girl kind of look. Like, they're like, hey, she has that look now, and they're just like, hey, why don't you be a receptionist in this gumshoe thing? So she would just once in a while say things like, so disinterested. She was just like, at one point, she sees me floating around with his clipboard, trying to figure something out. And she's like, why don't you look at the numbers on the airplanes? 'Cause on the desk, there were these like miniature airplanes that had like coordinates written on them. And I'm just like, and so I spent the next 40 minutes writing down the coordinates, trying to figure something out. And the airplanes meant nothing for the thing, right?
You didn't pass along. You're supposed to share that information with the group.
I did. There was some dude I was sharing it with. I was just like, hey, what is this? Do you think this is something?
You're like, look, and then you showed him your notebook paper.
Do you think this is a
and
thing?
It was all like Charles Crumb's notebook.
Yeah. And then
you're like, does this mean anything?
But I will say this. Earlier in the thing, I feel like I lost interest in the entire experience because there was a bookshelf. Mm-hmm. And they told us at one point, it's like, notice the books. Like, don't go super deep into the books.
Yeah, they told us specifically not to do the thing that you did, which was become obsessed with the books.
I was not obsessed at all with the books, but when I'm seeing this authentic 40s gumshoe office, and then I see a Susan Powder book, I was like, I can't concentrate anymore. That was enough to take me out of it for the entire thing. Like, Susan Powder, like, what was her thing? Like,
stop the insanity.
It was so I'm just like,
stop the insanity, kid.
Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah, you're eating too many carbs, see? So, when that happened, I was like, are we caught in is this like a Star Trek time warp thing we're caught in, where I figured the loophole out?
Did you ask that to the pinup board?
No, because she was so she would have just gone, no, it's not. Just focus on the planes on the desk. She was so bored. It was so annoying.
And she was very superior about, like, knowing the answers to things.
Yeah. Yes, because you work here.
It's your job.
You should know the answers. You do 12 of these a day, and you watch people. And then the group, which I will not take credit for being a part of that group. I was as out on my own as could be. There were like 27 elements that had
27 steps.
And 25, the group figured out 25.
Yeah, although the last one is just like put the key in the lock. And so I figured that one out first, actually. Yeah. And so I would say we actually figured out 26. We just didn't get the key.
The final one didn't get the key.
Yeah.
Well, caller?
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.